VAR once again called into question last night after controversy hit the Manchester United Bournemouth game, with this handball being given as a penalty. Bruno Fernandes stepped up, converted the spot kick and made it 2-2, and that is how the game finished. Despite not playing very well, Manchester United pick up an unlikely point against Bournemouth. But was this a penalty? Very, very controversial, very, very debatable as to whether or not this was handball or not. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yesterday's video going to centre around that big penalty claim and about Manchester United as well, as United once again played poorly last night, but still somehow, some way, some form managed to come away with a point against Andoni Iraola's men of Bournemouth in what was a 2-2 draw last night, in which the points were shared. We're going to be talking about Man United, we're going to talk about the penalty appeal and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. And also get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings on the game, on Bournemouth, on Man United, and most importantly, of course, on the penalty. Was it a penalty in your eyes? Was it extremely harsh on Bournemouth? I would love to know what you guys think and feel, your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. It'll make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. So please do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk this whole penalty fiasco. In my opinion, not a penalty. Not a penalty. I personally believe that Manchester United got extremely fortunate last night yet again. I think Moments FC, as I've been putting forth this sort of alternative name for Manchester United in terms of being Moments FC for large parts of this season. I think I said it in a few videos that I did, especially following the Liverpool game, that I said, and I think I made a blog post about Manchester United as well, and I said that they rely on pure individual moments. There's very little team cohesion, there's very little in terms of team unity on that pitch, it seems. They just rely on their star players to provide those individual moments, or just rely on random and, you know, fortunate individual moments to, of course, get by in games. Poor defending allowed Bruno Fernandes to equalise in the first place, when, of course, he smashed home to make it 1-1 earlier on in the game. And then a pure slice of good fortune followed to make it 2-2, of course. Now, the incident that I'm, of course, referring to is the penalty appeal in which Man United won. Now, people will say maybe you should look at the times that Man United didn't win a penalty and so on and so forth, and that the look of this balances out throughout the rest of the season. Two wrongs don't make it right. And, you know, you can look at maybe balancing itself out. I look at this as, you know, a great injustice, and I'll be calling this out, and I've tried to call this out as consistently as possible and as much as possible across the Premier League for the majority of this season. I've called it out with Arsenal, I've called it out with Liverpool, I've called it out with, you know, other teams as well. Manchester City, I remember, even against my own club of Liverpool, where I felt that they should have been 2-0 up. I didn't think it was a foul on Alisson for the second goal that City scored in the 1-1 draw that occurred very much earlier on in the season. So I've tried to be as consistent as possible with this, and once again I'm trying here with Manchester United, and once again I am calling VAR out, because the more and more that these situations occur, the more and more I do not know what is handball anymore. I don't know what's a foul anymore. I don't know what is handball anymore. I don't know what is anything anymore, because of how offside is so poorly used, and the standards of refereeing and VAR are lowering and lowering by the game here. And once again, we had another poor display last night of VAR's. Well, on this one occasion, I would say it was a very poor display by VAR in terms of this being called a handball. For those of you who haven't seen it, The Man United youngster Willie Cabwala. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. Again, names I'm blah. Anyway, his shot is deflected off of a Bournemouth player. It then, as it's flying through the air at a quick speed, hits the elbow of this player in particular, as you can see here. Now, I try not to use still shots because you can try and prove anything from a still shot. Arsenal fans were doing that midweek when, of course, the Bukayo Saka thing hit. And, of course, a still shot is going to make it look like what you want it to look like. This looks like handball. But when you added the context to it of it deflecting off someone else and flying through the air at a swift rate, also when you look at the way that he's trying to turn away his body and he just doesn't quite make it in time, of course it looks like a handball. But guess what? It isn't, because you apply the context to it and you apply common sense to it, and we will come back to that use of common sense. It is not a penalty. Simple as that. It's not a penalty. Man United caught life there, and Man United got absolutely fortunate in the way that Bournemouth didn't put away their chances, and United get an unlikely point yet again. How many times have we said that this season about United? We even said it last week against Liverpool. We said that Liverpool's poor finishing was the makers of their own downfall, and that United were extremely fortunate to be in the game. And then, would you know it, 2 worldy goals later, they managed to get a point from Liverpool. Well, here, they managed to catch life yet again. Poor defending for the first goal, and then for the second goal, just whatever the hell VAR is thinking. I need clarity on what is a handball anymore, because I can guarantee you that there have probably been times this season where a similar sort of incident has happened like this that has not been given. I could go back to Liverpool versus Chelsea right at the beginning of the season on day 1, and I could argue that the handball against Nicholas Jackson could have been a handball and a penalty in Liverpool's favour. I'm sure there have been multiple other incidents like this affecting all kinds of teams, whether you're at the top and chasing the Premier League title like the likes of City, Arsenal and Liverpool are, whether you're fighting for Champions League like the likes of Tottenham and Newcastle are. And Tottenham actually did get a penalty appeal turned down yesterday, which was, in my opinion, a poor decision yet again. I think it was Botman on, I want to say it was Richarlison, or maybe it was, I can't remember actually who it was. I think it was someone who he kicked. I can't remember the Spurs player. But again, they were extremely fortunate. As good as what they were, Newcastle, they were extremely fortunate to not have conceded a penalty in that moment. So there are multiple kinds of things like this. I just want clarity. I want them to go away in the summer. I want them to have a big discussion about how they can improve the game, improve the laws of the game, and I want them to come back with much more, because it's never going to be completely clear cut, but I want them to make it as crystal clear as possible. What is a foul in the penalty area? What isn't? What is a handball in the penalty area? What isn't? What is, all of this stuff that we're constantly debating week in, week out. Rather than them come out every single week and go, how can we protect referees more? How can we look after our mates more? I want them to come back with more definitive ways of determining what is a foul, what is a handball, what's a red card, and so on and so forth. Because it's becoming more and more debatable and weird and 50-50 every week. And it just seems to be, well, whatever the referee decides. Does the referee feel like he's going to give a penalty today? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. This is another poor display and usage of VAR. This is another shocking display. The ball ricochets off the player onto the guy who handballs it, and he's not even intentionally handballing it. And again, I think common sense is needed here. We have heard that phrase a lot this week, all stemming once again from that Arsenal-Bayern Munich game midweek, in which Gabriel picked up the ball from a seemingly goal kick, and then placed the ball down so he could take the goal kick, and in that kind of fashion. Arteta praised the referees then for using and applying common sense, as is stated so-called in the rules. This is the first time I'm actually hearing the words common sense be used in these types of rulings, because I don't think they've ever used, or the majority of times that I've seen these kinds of things happen, common sense has never ever been applied in these situations. But for whatever reason, this week we've decided to pull this one out of the rule book about common sense. That one on Tuesday was a penalty in Bayern Munich's favour. The way that it wasn't is ridiculous. The way that he tried to justify it afterwards by saying it's a schoolboy error makes it a million times worse when you are playing at the pinnacle of club football. You are playing at the top of your game. You are playing at the top of the professional game of football. You make a schoolboy error. You deserve to be punished for it, by the way. We have seen apply common sense used to that. Well, if we're going forward with all of that stuff, we should apply common sense to everything. So why wasn't common sense used in this situation then? If this has been the major hot topic, or is this only in European competitions that we're only applying common sense to? Which, by the way, wouldn't surprise me, considering that it was foreign referees on that day. And of course, foreign referees, as we know, still may not be great, but probably are better than English referees, as we've seen probably time and time and time and time and time and time again throughout constantly. Not just this season, where it seems that the refereeing standards have got worse, but throughout the majority of seasons that have gone by. There you have it. Apply common sense. That's what we've been told all week, and yet this has seemingly not followed suit. Use common sense. Use context. Why has he turned his body away like that? Why was he slow in turning his body away like that? Because the ball was moving at a quicker speed than his reaction time. Simple as that. You may look at distance and go, well, maybe he had more enough time. Don't think he was expecting it to bounce and come out that way that it did. I'm just saying, it just seems very weird to me. Bournemouth played very well. They just didn't take their chances. And we've said that time and time again about Bournemouth throughout the majority of this season. They played very well at times, but they just didn't quite take their chances when it mattered most. I saw it against Manchester City. I've seen it a few times across the season in various forms against various teams. Bournemouth just simply didn't take their chances, and it allowed Manchester United back into the game. United did get back into the game by a fortuitous moment yet again. They took that chance. They rolled it into the back of the net. They went 2-2. And then right at the end, it's a foul on, I want to say it's Ryan Christie. And it was debatable whether it was inside or outside the box at first. Replay showed it was outside. So once again, VAR actually did do the right thing there. VAR actually did get the right call there. So there is some life in VAR, and there is some credibility to VAR, but again, the usage of it sometimes is just absolutely appalling, and we saw another case and example of that yet again in this game. Like I say, I think we saw it as well in the Tottenham Newcastle game. I feel like Tottenham were deserving of a penalty in that one. I'm a little bit shocked that that wasn't given. But then again, it did seem similar to the Jeremy Doku one on Alexis McAllister. So again, it really does depend on who's behind, who's the eyes watching the game on VAR, who are the eyes on the pitch in the refereeing officiating position. It's just baffling. It's just baffling. And once again, I go back to this point, using common sense. We've heard it time and time again this week about using common sense, and about how, you know, Mikel Arteta's praised it for his side somewhat benefiting from it. But it needs to apply in all situations and all contexts. Not just a silly schoolboy error. It needs to happen at all levels of the game, and it needs to happen. It needs to happen all the time. It needs to be consistent, and it needs to be proper. But there you have it. United catch life led again. It's another point in the bag, but they do drop down to 7th in the Premier League table. Just on Erik Ten Hag, by the way, another poor display from Manchester United overall. How this guy can... I think this guy's gone. This guy has to be gone. As much as I want him to stay, because United will not be a threat whilst this guy is in the managerial position that he's in. I think he's gone. I think the owners have made their minds up, but I think they're either waiting till the summer to see what happens in terms of managerial merry-go-round, or maybe they have a target lined up that which won't be available until the summer, or maybe they're just still undecided. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, the Euros are coming up, so that could mean a big merry-go-round in terms of international management as well. So there is a lot of factors to consider this summer coming up in terms of the managerial positions, as well as obviously the player transfer window. But I think he's gone. Surely United fans can't put up with this. Whatever the hell this is, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what to call it. Like I say, it's Moments FC. Moments FC, people. You rely on individual brilliance from certain players, or you rely on individual fortuitous moments from others. It's not good for United. It really is not good for United. And I'm saying that as a Liverpool fan from the outside looking in. It's brilliant to watch as a banter sort of rival fan. But it's not good to watch. And it's not sustainable. And it's pretty dreadful in all honesty. So I think he's gone. Another poor display from United, but another fortuitous moment to come in the form of picking up a point against Bournemouth. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, at this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the penalty that was given to Manchester United yesterday? What do you make of the game yesterday between United and Bournemouth? And what do you make of both teams overall? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, in regards to anything that I talked about in this video, VAR especially. And the usage of that. Let me know your all of that good stuff down below in the comment section. All of it will be greatly appreciated. As well as that, of course, hit the like button if you want to. If you haven't already, subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Very much appreciated. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon. Also, it is Sunday, so just got to say, come on, Liverpool. Please. I need this win today against Palace. I need some form of just some form of just something. I just need something of you to show that you're sorry for what has been a horrible week. Drawing to this lot, and then obviously losing humiliatingly to Atalanta. I need a bounce back here, people. So fingers crossed for that. But see you all again soon, guys. Thanks everyone for watching.